running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just looking up.
What is going on, you beautiful, beautiful people, person? What's going on? I'm your boy Knock, and yeah, it's been kind of a shitty weekend, and then instead of just wasting my time today like I had planned, and not really wasting my time, I've made money this weekend, just not normal. I just realized today that today is Mother's Day. I usually avoid even thinking about today. You know, my mom's been dead for a while. It would only bring sadness. So I just paid no attention to it and didn't realize, oh, that's probably why the weekend has sucks. The weekend has sucked. Low loves Nick Fuentes, but not for any valid reasons, LOL. Well, I think a lot of people love Nick Fuentes. I could say, like, in my own special way, I love Nick Fuentes. I've covered him a few times. I love covering his insanity. I think he's a good window into the alt-right pipeline. I think he had a lot to deal with that. And I think that he has probably stepped over the line. I haven't really paid attention to the Groypers in quite a while. You know, there was that whole shooting, and I'm still kind of frustrated that the media didn't go more into the Groyper meme war aspect of that. You know, like it seems like it was definitely an accelerationist shooting, and as always with this administration and this FBI, that whole thing just seems completely bungled. And now that, like, pretty much the whole country agrees that the FBI bungles every investigation that they have, it would be nice to see some internet sleuths at least go back and look at that shooting, because it seems apparent, and I think it was like the Minneapolis shooting before Minneapolis like blew up with ICE and shit, like in Trump's first year of the second term. I streamed about it at the time and about the kind of Groyper connections there. But the media never really picked up on that. And still to this day, like, I argue with conservatives that try to, like, argue that shooter was like a liberal, just because the shooter was trans. But yeah, today we'll be talking a little bit about Nick Fuentes, and it seems like he's went too far, right? Like, it seems like maybe his grift has truly been exposed. Today we're going to be watching Nate of Valhalla VFT once again, and it's gonna be kind of like a good example, because, you know, like I feel like I kind of glaze Nate because he's one of the few right-wingers that I do truly respect, so I kind of glaze him, and I should be, like, very, like, apparent, like, you know, Nate still has a long way to go, and what we're gonna watch today, and I'm sure if, like, Nate ever saw anything I ever made, which he has no reason to. Like, I'm an ant compared to his channel. But like, if he ever saw any of the stuff that I've made, he'd probably have like a lot of the same opinions that you would, Will. Like, oh, snowflake, liberal, beta, all the things, right? So, I still, to this very day, get those reciprocal feelings when I watch Nate. There are some things that he says that I'm like, okay, he's still got a long ways to go. For instance, this whole faction of American First Israel disdain, it is highly suspect because it does come from the likes of, and I'm not trying to link this to Nate. I know that Nate used to have a lot of respect for Nick Fuentes. I in fact commented recently about how when I first started watching Nate, it would be Nick Fuentes clips and that ilk, and now it's Keith Edwards clips. But he's by no means a Democrat, and that's like with the horseshoe effect. It can seem like these opposing views can come aligned and almost be touching, but you have to remember you're not touching. You're almost touching. You're not touching, right? So there are going to be those things that are going to be like vital things that you're not going to be able to get over. So like the question with the America First Israel, hey, are you truly want to see like the end of a fascist theocracy-based government that has committed genocide after genocide after genocide, not taking away any blame from Hamas or even the Palestinian people for maybe some of their, which I would argue that pretty much all of their hostility it would be, conscionable given the circumstances, but like maybe even the Palestinian violence done in extremity, or I don't know where I was going with that, but my question is, and again I'm stammering this because this is such a delicate subject, because you don't want to accuse anybody of anything that they're not, right? But the problem is, and not saying this is Nate by any means, but the problem is white supremacists have become very, very good at not saying the thing while saying the thing, right? And I'm not even talking about dog whistling, because people picked up on that. We figured that out. They have become very clever at saying what they want to say without saying it in a way that's going to get them removed from conversations. So, and you get those red flags, right? Like you get those like, ugh, and we're going to get some of that in what we're going to watch. But he's also going to be breaking down why a lot of people aren't watching Nick Fuentes anymore. And it brings up this like really interesting thing that I haven't even really thought of, right? Like I haven't been paying any attention to the Groypers. I've been attacked by the Groypers several times. Every time you make a video about Nick Fuentes, it doesn't matter how small you are, you're going to get some Groyper action. I mean, that's just a thing. It's like they prowl the internet looking for his name. But you don't even see that anymore. Excuse me. And I should have picked up on this. Like I said, I noticed that Nate wasn't referencing Nick Fuentes anymore. He would talk about him a couple times, but even when he would talk about him, it had changed. And I also noticed, like, because I used to see, because Nick Fuentes isn't on YouTube, I used to see that a lot of these YouTubers, and usually it would be like some European white Groyper dude, right, who would just be in the background with his little window on. Sometimes it'd be a black dude, and I'm always like, why is the black dude doing this? But probably just to make sure people, I mean, I'm assuming to make sure people know what the fuck this racist is saying, and I haven't seen that. And I didn't realize that I wasn't seeing it anymore. And maybe it is still out there, but not at the level, like it was just all over my feeds all of a sudden one day, and now it's not, right? So I was watching this video last night before I went to bed after I got done working, and I was like, yeah, that actually makes sense, because I had picked up on what some of the things Nick Fuentes was saying. He's been highly, highly critical of Donald Trump, like to an extent that goes beyond what most people breaking away from Trump would go to. He's been talking about becoming a Democrat, being a Democrat. Excuse me. We had the initial like breakthrough cracking of that like Groyper mentality with the whole Catboy fiasco, and pretty much I think everybody thinks or knows that Nick Fuentes is a gay man. You know, it explains so much. And I'm not trying to say that like I know dick about dick. I don't. I mean, that's just what they are saying, what I have picked up. And it's like I should have been more aware of this. Like it seems like the Groypers are breaking, and it's been kind of silent. Like I haven't really seen anybody picking up on it. And Nate is going to explain maybe why that is happening. So we'll get into that. Hopefully you dig the new do. I've been kind of working on stuff. I'm really aggravated because I use like pretty much all free programming now. And once I master this editing, like I think I'm going to be able to do everything I was that I was doing back when I was paying $1,000 a year to edit videos. So once I master this editing, I think I'm going to be able, and once I change, I hate the white background. I'm going to be changing the background as soon as I can, even if it's just like this kind of flag area to kind of cover my back. I don't know. Maybe I'll go grab me an American flag, since I think we're going to actually have a battle of patriotism leading to a civil war, but I'm getting beyond myself. And again, I'm smoking weed. I tried to work today. It's just been a really bad weekend, so I lost all train of thought, which is probably going to be a problem today. I need to adjust my big head, or maybe at least adjust my camera so my big head isn't getting cut off. I do have things cropped, but yeah, my new background. So I got this new background. I did a little bit. Really aggravated because my free program. Oh yeah, there's my train of thought. My free programming that I use, I'm fairly good at it, right? Like I've kind of mastered what I can do with free shit, you know. And you know, if I can keep my car healthy, you know, I gotta dump a lot of money back into my car, hopefully before it's too late. I'm saving for that now. So, you know, hopefully I'll be getting to a point where I won't have to use free shit all the time. But the free shit that I use, I'm really fucking aggravated because I want to make a Knock TV live, transparent background image. And I just couldn't do that today. And it aggravated me. It's why I decided to just fucking stream, because I technically, I'm 2 videos ahead on the new channel, which, by the way, link in the description below, sub to Knock TV, and you can see all my edited content. I've got 2 channels already in the cut. Just whenever I hit that button for them to go for them to go publish, I got another 2 videos I was supposed to make today. What's going on Robin Webster. That description is in the link below. And yeah. So I did get some work done though. I got like some of my OBS bullshit cleared out. I can pull up Jesus whenever I want to pull up Jesus. I can tell you guys, you know, please subscribe. I am getting more play than I thought I would get. You know, people are slowly especially if I let a stream sit for 2 days. I'm getting views that I wasn't getting before. So, you know, this channel is shadow banned into non-existence. I'm building up that new channel. So do all the things. And yeah, let's get into Nate telling us, you know, maybe explaining a little bit about the breaking. Gosh, I've really got to find my thing to put over my microphone. The breaking of the Nick Fuentes phenomenon.
But that's why you're seeing memes like this start to pop up. Because again, a lot of people are looking at this.
Yeah, I'm looking at Restream,
what are you
Robin.
Doing, man. Very, very odd. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And we have a drama-packed episode for you today. And what better way to kick off the launch of the new studio, hope you guys like it, than to talk about the newest drama in the America First space. And I actually heard about this story last night from the viewers on my live stream, was very confused when I very first heard about it, and that is the newest beef between congressional candidate Dan Bilzerian and Nick Fuentes.
All right, and talking about that horseshoe effect. So, Nate Valhalla here is by no means a Democrat. I think he's probably changing some of his views on Democrats as I watched in Everything is Changing Part 2. The ex-veteran that says, I don't trust anybody. I think everything I've been told is a lie. That includes what they've been told about Democrats, right? Like that kind of spell is being broken. And people are finding it really, really, really hard to argue things that they found easy to argue before. Like, after I'm done with this, I was going to watch a couple, the 2 videos that I have in the cut so I can clear my cache and kind of start fresh. Don't want to use too much memory space and have 10 videos ahead of shit, right? Because that's just going to bog down my computer. But I decided to instead I'm going to watch 30 minutes of Steven Crowder getting owned. And it starts with this kid just fucking destroying him because Steven Crowder wants to argue against socialism and people just aren't buying the bullshit anymore, right? It's getting harder and harder for them to argue bullshit when people are seeing that all the bullshit has led to this, right? People exist in reality. They don't exist in what you want them to think is reality, right? So, yeah.
And if you're like me, when you first heard about this, you thought, why in the hell would these two be beefing? It seems like they both are very ideologically aligned. But
Nate is
yes,
probably Dan Bongino type libertarian dude.
You've got Dan calling Nick a Fed, and you've got Nick making claims that...
Not Dan Bongino. I can't remember the dude's name. It's a similar, but that type libertarian dude. He's running for Congress. I actually watched an interview with him. He's an really vocal member of MAGA that is just bitter as fuck, and that's what people aren't. The people that are still on the Trump train, and Will, if you're still out there, I'm interested to hear if you're still on the Trump train. People on the Trump train don't realize they're backing the wrong dude now, right? All the people that really matter, all the people that's gonna kind of force that culture. People like Nate here, people all of these, alpha ex-military right wingers. They're still America first, and Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and MTG and, all of these people, they're vying for who's going to be the leader, who's going to take the mantle, because Donald Trump's already lost it. He's just the president, and a pretty bad one. And everybody knows it now. It's beyond the pale. Now, they still have power, and what they can do with that power is terrifying. And we see now, they are literally rigging the game, everything's back in play. Black people don't matter. They just give no fucks now. They've got to hit home runs now. And we've got to pitch a perfect game. And we're going to see what fucking happens, man. This time next year, your boy might be locked up in a prison because I'm a socialist atheist. Doesn't matter that I don't have a fucking following. It just matters the ideology, right? So we'll see. We'll see.
Dan tried to unalive Ben Shapiro. Yes, it's juicy, and I'm not here to take sides necessarily. We're just...
And somehow I have a feeling this experience, if we lose and say the worst happens and your boy is in prison, probably with y'all, except for I think Will would be okay. I don't think it's going to be like the last time, right? The last time I could at least survive, right? I could at least fight and survive and adapt. This time is probably just going to be a whole lot of pain. I've seen The Handmaid's Tale. Not looking forward to it. But you got to fight, right? You can't just I mean, I guess you could. I guess I could just be a fake ass bitch and be like, I'm America first. Don't arrest me. No, fuck that. Fuck that. You gotta scream until they come, right?
Gonna walk through what's going on in this new beef. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some America First, America Only merch. Okay, let's talk about it. And guys, I'll tell you up front, I really don't understand this. Like, it's very bizarre to me that we have, this is becoming a reoccurring theme now in the conservative America First space, whatever you want to call it. And that is the infighting. Although I will say there's really no infighting between anybody else other than really infighting between Nick Fuentes and literally almost everyone.
That's not true. I mean, and you know, I don't know where Nate's getting that from, because it's not true. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these red flags come up, right? Like, all right, bro, really? Because I see them infighting all over the place with each other. Ben Shapiro is fighting with everybody. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro are at each other's throats right now. Candace Owens and Erica Kirk are at each other's throats right now. The president is going after Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and somebody else, can't remember who. But like, they're all fighting with each other. It's not just Nick Fuentes. Now, maybe he meant to say the root cause of that is Nick Fuentes. Maybe that's like what he's meaning to say, and I'll like, that could very well be like what he's meaning to say, because I would grant that. And that's kind of like the scope of this like beef that Nick is having with this guy running for Congress. It's not Dan Bongino, but I'm going to say Dan Bongino if I try to say his name until Nate tells me again. But that's been Nick's whole thing. Groyper wars left and right. Shit, he had a Groyper war running right up to the moment Charlie took one in the neck. That's why it's like, it's just so fucking surprising that nobody even looked at that connection when Charlie died, or with the assassination. It was almost like, I don't know, Nick Fuentes was friends with the president at that time. He did go to the White House. And then, even though Nick Fuentes spent most of the campaign and all of this second presidency criticizing Donald Trump, until recently, they would never criticize him back. Ever. Something was going on there. And pretty much the gist of Nick Fuentes' argument is that Trump isn't fascist enough. And now he's going around saying he's like a liberal Democrat. Like, bro, like, your argument is that they're not fascist enough. You're not a liberal Democrat. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get there.
Else in the America First space. So we're going to talk about that. But I'm not exactly sure who fired the first shot here. Maybe you guys can help me out with this in the story. But I think it may have been Dan posting this, but I could be wrong. Nick could have posted first. Let's take a look. So Dan comes out and says, I think Nick Fuentes is a Fed. Constant division and listen.
Yeah, Dan Bilzerian. And I did watch, like, you know, an interview he had, and he don't like Donald Trump no more. He's America First does not like Donald Trump anymore.
Fighting, defending Epstein, then attacking a Christian man only to endorse a Jewish Democrat woman after saying the left wants us dead. The contradictions never end. I actually want to go through this sort of section by section, because I'll be honest with you, nothing Dan says here is objectively not true, other than, you know, if he's a Fed or not, I don't know. I'm talking about the actual body of the message here. But the actual message here, constant division, endless infighting, etc. And let's actually break this down of, is what Dan's saying true here? So, yeah, let's go piece by piece here. Constant division, endless infighting. So, I mean, this is objectively true. We're seeing this constantly. Like, who has Nick had beef with? Now, for the most part, the America First base is pretty united across the board. People usually support each other, but Nick has had massive beef and drama with.
And that is becoming true. So the America First coalition is coming together and kind of aligning themselves. Now, I think Candace Owens would stand a part of that. Because Candace Owens just kind of still attacks everybody. But I do, and Megyn Kelly is an odd one. She still kind of tries to skirt a line with Trump. But But I do kind of see that America First coalition is starting to kind of like really coalesce, and they're coalescing around, people like MTG. There's another one. Anybody besides like Vivek, JD Vance, anybody that's part of the Trump administration now, but they're like really coming behind like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, that coalition. Even though Tucker Carlson recently took a lot of shit, I think it probably like enriched him in the America First crowd.
Tucker Carlson, we saw that back and forth, and that one is still going till today.
Half the thing was about Fuentes, and like, who cares? Fuentes?
There was a lot of Fuentes.
Who cares about Fuentes? Talk about irrelevant. And I said to her, I wish I'd never interviewed that kid.
Again, so he's like even admitting it. So like he's like irrelevant. But you did interview him. Like you glazed him in that interview. And then like 2 days later, he fucking burned you because that's what Nick Fuentes does, right? That's what he does. That's what he's always done. And that's essentially what Nate's going to boil it down to is like, like once you burn just every bridge that you cross, and I kind of found this out as the raging atheist, like once you burn every bridge that you cross, bro, you're not going to be crossing no bridges,
Not that I don't even really have strong feelings about Fuentes. I just don't care. He doesn't know anything. He's not like I don't really know what's the significance of Fuentes other than as a tool to get other people to be quiet. And that may be the whole point of Fuentes.
Then you had Fuentes calling Tucker a Fed and saying things like, I believe they called him a low IQ anti-Semite, which I think he said that about Dan as well. So again, very bizarre because that seems to be like his whole brand. But anyway, then he's also had beef with Can.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, Nick Fuentes built his brand on saying the N-word, on degrading women, and on Jew hate. Right? I mean, he's never actually hit it. It's why he's not on like any platform except for like the most extreme platforms. I'm not even sure where he streams to anymore. It's so obscure and he's so like deplatformed. It's insane. That's why there for the longest time I had all like just my algorithm was pumping me like just people with their small little windows, and it was Nick Fuentes spewing his bullshit. But he's went too far. Like he's now he's calling people anti-Semites, right? Like he makes no logical sense. And that Groyper, and the thing like about the Groypers, and maybe I never explained it completely, because while they're full of racist propaganda, a lot of them are just actually just really stupid kids trying to be edgelords. They don't mean any of the shit that they say. There's this, I wish I could find it. I'm going to try to find it and make a video out of it. But there's this, I think he was like this known Hassan hater. He was a known Groyper, known online for, I think, Hassan hate. And there's a video of the FBI paying him a little visit. I think they arrest him for the shit that he's writing online, because I mean these motherfuckers get super extreme with the shit that they write online, and it's really really fucking hilarious. But like when you spend your time, when you've built your entire career on being an edgelord, and then you go around being the thing that you say you hate, pointing the finger, casting labels on people, well, your edgelord army probably is gonna not be too cool with that. Like it just seems like common sense. But like Nick Fuentes is really taking this turn, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He really made an attempt to ascend to the national limelight, and it backfired spectacularly against him, because nobody was going to ever accept him into that national spot. He was never going to take Charlie Kirk's place, ever. But in the process of doing so, he broke his Groyper army. Like a lot of these motherfuckers are falling off and they're never coming back because he proved himself to be a complete fucking fake. And that's pretty much what Nate is saying here. I believe that's what I took from it.
He's had beef with Ian Carroll. He's
not going to spell it out like that.
He's had beef with Jake Shields. So it seems like he's had beef with like everybody in the America First space. Again, very bizarre, because what's the point here? What's the end goal of this drama between the two? I don't get it. To me, it seems counterproductive for everybody, but we'll keep going. And then Dan says here, defending Big E. And, well, let's take a look.
Epstein, not a 14 to 17, that's not. After the age of 14, that is past the point of sexual maturity, just period, biologically.
I mean, fucking gross right out the gate. I was very, very critical of this one, still am when I saw it. Absolutely disgusting, because it's not just about, oh, they're biologically mature enough at 14. Okay, but they're not mentally mature enough at 14. I have a teenage daughter. They are children. And that one lost Nick a lot of support from a lot of people, even in his own base. And the last one we have here, attacking a Christian man only to endorse a J Democrat woman after saying the left wants us dead. This is also objectively true. Now, this was in reference to this governor race between Vivek and Amy Acton.
Yeah, he's taken this like weird swing telling his Groyper army to go and vote for the Democrats, who he has spent the last 6 years saying exactly what Nate said, that Democrats want you dead. I've heard him say it, right? Like, and it's this great lie. It's why, like, you know, people are going to have to come back from the propaganda. It's going to be a journey that they're going to have to take, because a lot of people literally believe that. They believe that the Democratic Party want them to die, when it's actually like they've been groomed to accept the mass slaughter of liberals and socialists, and they've been groomed for it. And we kind of see that play out with just how so many are just willing to accept blatant, vagrant violations of the Constitution of the United States when they have pretended their whole lives to actually like that document. Right? Like, you know, like playtime's over. You know, like you don't really get to pretend anymore. You know, when the time comes to prove your principle, and time again during that time period, you trample on your principle, you lose any credibility. Nobody's going to fucking believe you, right? Nobody's going to fucking believe you. It's just, at that point, you're a joke of yourself. Trust me, I know from fucking experience.
Of Ohio, and I got to tell you right up front, guys, if you live in Ohio, I am sorry that these are your two choices, because you're hosed either way. But the point being here is that Nick has obviously been attacking Vivek constantly, and again, I don't disagree with that. He's part of the JD Vance Palantir small tech little club, right? So I don't think Vivek has any business being a governor. However, endorsing Amy Acton, who is she? Well, let me show you. Well, here you go. This is the Jewish Democrats Council of America. They're JDCA endorsed candidates. All right, and here we go. Endorsed right here, Amy Acton. And guys, again, just kind of very bizarre that Nick Fuentes is choosing to endorse her.
Yeah, it is bizarre that Nick Fuentes is choosing to endorse her, but I get the vibes that, like, Nick personally, like, I don't know about this organization. Like, is this organization he's talking about, like a lobbying organization that lobbies government, or is it just like an organization? Let me go back, because maybe I can just look that up, because I haven't looked it up. JDCA. Well, I know, like, Serb warns me about Google AI, because he says it only searches Reddit. I haven't looked into the legitimacy of that claim. I tend not to trust Serb. So I usually have to look up the shit he says. He's usually right. But you can't trust him. So what was I looking at? No, JDCA. What is? The Jewish Democratic Council of America, a national organization that advocates for Jewish values and supports Democratic candidates. So, like, Jewish values, I'm cool with that. Like, I don't... Are they a... You know... Are they associated with AIPAC? The Juvenile Diabetes Cure Alliance. Yeah, so, like, and that's my thing. Like, not all Jewish things are bad, right? Like, you know, are they raising money for a foreign government to lobby our government? If not, like, if she's a Jewish person running for office, I don't see the problem with that. And maybe that's not what Nate is implying, but again, though that's kind of like this stuff you will pick up, and I pick up, and I'm sure like he'll pick up stuff from me, but like, I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything, and he's already confessed that he was brainwashed into hatred. So he's come a long way, and he's still probably got farther to go, and that's just the careful line we have to walk. Is, I have no beef with Jewish people outside, like, I find their religion silly, but I think that they deserve civil liberty like anybody else, right? Like, I think that MAGAs deserve civil liberty, and it's a thing that I struggle with, and that's that thing, like, when push comes to shove, because I do struggle with it, like, what should we do after, right? And I think there should be penalty if you're a traitor to the fucking country, but that's conversations for later. But are we going to stand firm on principle and allow these people still their dignity and their civil liberty, right? And how are we going to address that problem? It's going to be like, how are we going to stand on our principle when the time comes? I'm not sure, but I definitely don't have a problem with anybody being a part of a Jewish Democratic Council of America, so long as they're not lobbying for a foreign government. That's the issue, is lobbying for a foreign government, and not just a foreign government, but a foreign government that commits atrocity, genocide, mass slaughter, denies people their civil liberty, denies people their just basic human decency, wants to create a greater Israel. It's not even a very fine distinction to draw. It's just a distinction we must draw, right? So I would have to learn more before and maybe he has, and maybe they are affiliated with organizations like AIPAC that do that. I wouldn't be so quick to just condemn somebody that's part of something. Now, his point about Nick Fuentes is justified, right? It's just the implication of Nate's point, and that's where I would have to really be careful about how much I would gloss this dude or glaze this dude. You know what I'm saying? All right. Get back to what I'm watching here. And I'm not trying to put any implications on Nate at all. Now, he would probably admit, because he seems like a very honest person. Why? No, I guess that does seem right, doesn't it? Oh, I went to the wrong... Did I go to the wrong screen? Oh, no, he's watching it. All right. He seems like a very honest person. He would probably admit, yeah, I'm still dealing with shit, and he would probably be very honest about, maybe not on YouTube, but about maybe very specific feelings he has there. Probably is very honest about shit. So yeah, it would be something I would want to ask. If I ever got to talk to the dude, is your issues with Israel, or is and maybe he thinks he would have very legit reasons to think, some very specific thoughts. I don't know. But I would immediately draw those red flags.
Democrats Council of America, their JDCA endorsed candidates. All right, and here we go. Endorsed right here. Amy Acton. And guys, again, just kind of very bizarre that Nick Fuentes is choosing to endorse her. So again, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it just depends on who you are and what you believe. But I mean, the fact that he's going that route, to Dan's point, is a little bizarre given his brand. But again, maybe he hates Vivek that much. Again, to me, I think these are both terrible candidates, and Ohio is hosed either way. But again, still very odd to take the side.
I probably wouldn't disagree with his assessment. I don't know her politics, but assuming she's running for governor of Ohio, probably very moderate, probably very corporate, probably very business friendly, and probably a very big supporter of Israel. So I probably wouldn't disagree with his assessment there. Two very terrible candidates, but I would strongly want the Democrat to win because she's going to be far better than Vivek. Like, Vivek's a fucking insane person.
Side of the demographic that you're the most critical of. It's a little bit hypocritical, I think. All right, so that was Dan's messages, and to be honest, he's got pretty fair points. It wasn't really like anything he said was objectively untrue about the situation. Here's what Nick had to say. This is where things sort of started to spiral out of control. All right, let's look at this, because these are insanely bold claims by Nick. Nick says, the first time I met Dan Bilzerian at his house, he had us put our phones in another room, then asked me how difficult it would be to unalive our greatest ally government ministers. Then he invited me to Dubai and Qatar, which I declined. On his way there, he was ambushed by the FBI. Okay, so again, massive claims here of threats of unaliving people is pretty bizarre. Let's talk our way through this, okay? So,
yeah, I mean, it is just really, really weird. I need to be on Twitter more. I've been telling myself, because, you know, like, I could find content there, and I made, like, a new profile, and I made it, like, 6 months ago, and I never got back on it, you know. And I've always kind of been like that with Twitter, and I was like that with Blue Sky. I don't know. I'm so fucking OCD. If I'm not used to something, I probably won't be doing it, right? So that's why I've never used TikTok or none of that shit. And there's so much content on, you know, all across the internets here that I just don't even allow myself to have access to because my brain is fucked up. But like, as a person that has followed Nick Fuentes for several years now, has done several videos, has been attacked by his groypers, this is very fucking weird. This is very fucking weird for Nick Fuentes. And like, any of those groypers out there is going to look at this shit and be like, what the actual fuck is going on? But like, many of those groypers see Nick Fuentes as this like absolute truth teller and will follow him anywhere. So I mean, it's just really interesting to see like all of this fracturing of the right wing, especially the super right wing, the far right wing, because this is their day in the sun, right? Like, this is probably, I mean, I don't want to like God jinx the whole fucking world here, but this is probably as good as they're gonna fucking get, you know. Right? And farther, like, far more fascist than I think any of us actually thought America could actually fucking be, and they just can't settle with it, you know. Like, they just need more fascism, and it's been really interesting to watch. It's been really fucking interesting to watch, and for Nick Fuentes to be sitting there like ousting some former, you know, MAGA dude, but clearly like in the America First movement, a movement that Nick Fuentes has made that fucked up thing. He made the same mistake Donald Trump made, right? Donald Trump went around and saying MAGA is what I say it is. And I am America First. I am MAGA. And Nick did the same goddamn thing. He's like, you're not America First, Trump. I'm America First. I invented it. And all these motherfucking America First people are just like, we're all over here and we're America First. You two are just narcissists. And it's really breaking shit the fuck up, bro. I never thought I'd see the day. You know, like, fuck, I ain't gonna tell you. Like, the first time I got attacked by groypers, I was intimidated as fuck. Like, you just don't know what to say. You got all these crazy motherfucking, you know, neo-Nazis basically coming at you. I was like, what the fuck do you do now? Yeah.
What's the likelihood that Dan Bilzerian, somebody who actually did serve in the military, very proficient with guns, knows 1,000 times more about any of this than Nick does, would be asking Nick Fuentes, someone who I don't know if he's probably ever even shot a gun, on how to unalive foreign government officials? Okay, maybe.
So he's trying to get the dude arrested, man.
In a second. He then says, of course, he then invited me to Dubai and Qatar, which I declined. On his way there, he was ambushed by the FBI. Okay, maybe these things happened. I don't know. But then Lucas Gage says, holy F. Nick, I swear to God, he did the same thing to me. He walked me and Jake, I'm assuming he means Jake Shields, up to that room with a batting cage. We put our phones on the couch and went up to that scheduled room with the big TVs. He asked me about where Ben Shapiro lived. How could he be taken out? These are massive, massive claims, right?
Yeah, that's like type of shit that will get police sent to your house. Maybe like the first one would get like FBI sent to your house if the FBI was worth half a fucking salt. But I think it's intentional that they're not. It's very intentional. Just read Project 2025. And again, I had to ask everybody until they take me out. I was like, what the fuck is the CIA doing right now? Seriously. Seriously. Just think about it. And if you have half a brain, you'd probably be fucking terrified. But yeah, this is like crazy propaganda shit. And it's like, for the longest time, Nick was attacking people farther right than them, from farther right than they were. Now he's making the mistake because that's how he built his entire brand, was attacking other, popular commentators, podcasters, from a farther right position than they held. That's what he made his name on. And with those farther right positions, he played that free speech card. He went around saying that N-word, talking bad about women in the most derogatory ways you could. And he grew. It's the same phenomenon we're seeing with Donald Trump. If you build your house on a foundation of, I don't know, let's say Doritos, well, that shit's going to crumble up from underneath you, right? And that's what it took a lot longer for those Doritos to start crumbling for either of these two men than I ever thought it fucking would. But that's what we're witnessing right now, and I am here for it. That's why I'm covering it. I don't mean to glaze Nate when I do, because he has a lot of shit. He's on the right side of a lot of shit, and he's on the wrong side of a lot of shit. I kind of glaze him because, he has been a Green Beret, and he has been in the shit, and he has realized that he's been lied to. And he is the person that I have been talking to, God, even before the No Dapple days, but most especially during the No Dapple days, we had so many like just ex-military veterans that we were reaching and getting, right? Like, and this was the process for them. What I'm seeing with Nate. So it's like I'm just seeing Nate go through this process that I've seen other people go through. Some with my actual physical eyes, right? Not on this internet thing. And like, I'm glad for him. And he's got a long way to go. But he's really breaking it down. Like the downfall of Nick Fuentes. God, I really got to find this thing. The downfall of Nick Fuentes. He's really breaking it down. But you're going to get, I think, some more of those, red flags coming up.
You are accusing him of attempted murder. So, again, bold claims here. Nick then says, this is getting really weird, man. I wonder if anyone else has had the same experience. Seems like his move was to invite all the prominent JQ influencers to his place in 24-25. Maybe the whole thing like an Epstein-style honeypot. I just thought he was really dumb. Well, a lot of people that do know Dan and have been to his house did respond to if they've had similar experiences. Let's see what everybody said. All right, Jake responds and says, this is insane and a flat-out lie. Earlier today, I was still trying to kill the divide between Nick and Dan, but now it seems clear they're both feds. I had tremendous respect for Nick, even when we fought, but seeing him make such outrageous claims.
So Jake Shields, and I'm not quite sure. Like, I've heard the name, but I'm not quite sure who it is. It's not. I haven't been tapped in there, but I've heard the name before. All these people have a lot of respect for this dude. He just comes out and says they're both fucking feds, and that's like the core tenet of America First as well, right? Like, the feds can't be trusted, and honestly, that's just like a natural course of this journey they're on, right? Like, you come to realize, like he said in his last stream, like, I wouldn't know. I did try to enlist. I was all gung-ho after 9/11. I did try to enlist. I just got a fucked up ankle. They wouldn't, back then, at the beginning of the war, they wouldn't take me, and then it didn't take me too long to become anti-war. But at the beginning of the Iraq War, I tried to enlist, and I'm sure that's documented somewhere or another. Yeah, I was about to go take their fucking test when it came back. I didn't pass the physical because of my ankle. But I was all gung-ho to go. So, but I wouldn't know this from personal experience, but this was just kind of what I know from talking to vets, bringing them to the Democratic Party, and what he said in his last stream is like, once you figure out that you spent most of your adult life fighting for a cause that wasn't what you thought it was, that you've been lied to, that you've been used as a tool to do the most horrific thing, which is take the life of people, and you start to doubt like that those people were actually your enemies, right? Like, of course you're not going to trust anybody. You're going to go hard L libertarian here, and he probably has been a hard L libertarian for a long time. It's going to take a lot to restore trust in a person like this, but it's going to take a lot to restore trust in government in pretty much everybody now, right? I don't trust the government, and I don't think I've trusted democratic governments. Like, I just don't trust any of them. Until you start doing shit for us, fuck you. Like, start staying true to your fucking word. Like, Democrats want to walk around and pretend they're so high and mighty as if they've done anything for the fucking working man. Like, you're never going to get most of these people that went over to Trump because they felt like you fucked them if you don't start changing yourself. And it seems like at least the core establishment of the Democratic Party, they aren't interested in changing themselves at all. And that's not going to fly. It's not going to fucking fly at all. Now that the cards are stacked against you, you better fucking figure it out, because you're not going to just have a blue tsunami and a map stacked against you. It's just not going to happen. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. It's just not going to happen. You better fucking figure it out, because you can get these votes right here. You can. And really, you only got to do one thing. Denounce Israel. That's all you got to do. And you win. It's all you got to do.
This makes me wonder who is paying him. All right, so straight.
Some are getting it. I mean, I think AOC is starting to get that message. Bernie got that message. The country doesn't want us sending money to Israel anymore. They don't want us supporting Israel anymore. Now, I hope the majority of that is people like me that just don't support the government of Israel and are willing to give Israel a chance to get their shit in order, right? Re-elect your fucking leaders and get your shit in order. And then we can talk. But an immediate shutdown of all support of Israel, it needs to be the Democratic platform, and you win. You win.
Out of the horse's mouth, saying this is a complete lie. Interesting. All right, Ian Smith said, weird. I've been to Dan Blazarian's house and spent the entire day talking about politics, amongst other things, with no mention of violence. We did have some great steaks, though. Ian Carroll says, same. And guys, I've talked to Dan myself, and I'll tell you, he was incredibly nice, incredibly respectful, super down to earth in the limited interactions that we had. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird sell here.
I think it'd be interesting to see if he wins his primary, but I think he's going to win his primary. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I saw this Dan dude in an interview. And yeah, I was impressed. I mean, I was impressed. If I was an alpha bro, I'd definitely vote for him. If I was America First, I'd definitely vote for him. Hell, if I still love Trump, I'd probably vote for him.
Here. And what really kind of raises my eyebrows about this whole claim by Nick, and again, I hate to take sides here, but here's the thing, Nick. What you're claiming is that Dan Blazarian said all those things to you, some insane accusations that you're making, and you just never said anything to anyone about this until all of a sudden, just now, like what, a year or two later, you decide to say this after he criticized you online? I'm never a big fan of outlandish stories that are in response to someone criticizing you, because it seems like if you had any integrity, you would have come out and told that story immediately, because I don't know if he's threatening to kill people. That is a very big no-go for everybody. We don't condone political violence or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like if he was like really threatening to kill Ben Shapiro, like, yeah, sure, you had your beef, but you're just going to sit on that? Like, come the fuck on.
This whatsoever, regardless of how much we might dislike somebody like Ben Shapiro. It's horrible. So the fact that you knew about this and you didn't say anything, doesn't make you look very good either. Now, I started looking into this a little bit deeper, and
and besides, like, we all know, like, all political violence comes from the left anyway. Like, everybody knows that. It's like a historical fact now.
think that this beef actually goes back further than we all realize when we're trying to figure out, okay, why is this happening? And I found this. All right, Candace posted this almost a year ago where she said, open discussion is the only way forward. Looking forward to this. She shows her text to Nick saying, hey, Nick, I think we have to get you back on. Team just showed me all the coverage you're giving me. Again, still shocking given how kind we were to you. Want to come back to Nashville and we can do a discussion live on Wednesday on Rumble. She then says, Dan Blazarian says he'll moderate, so this time you can't pretend you were set up and attacked. So a debate between Candace and Nick, moderated by Dan Blazarian. That's bizarre. But again, to me, it seems like maybe there's a little bit of beef going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about beforehand. But again, I don't know. But in fairness, both sides of this, is Nick actually being attacked because of some things that he said recently that is really pissing off the Republican Party?
I'm a non-woke moderate Democrat. I think the GOP needs to be destroyed. I think the corrupt criminal government of Trump needs to be slowed down. We need to impeach the orange. It's time to put this in a peach. Trump needs to be placed inside of a crystal. He needs to be impeached. This fat orange, tiny hands needs to be impeached. And then in 28, no Vance, no Rubio.
Like, doesn't that just come across as like a bad imitation of like the libtard crybaby that all of these people have talked about for 10 years, right? Like, none of it seems genuine. Like, Nick Fuentes has become a joke of himself. And I guess it's kind of like the deplatforming thing worked, right? Like, it must have just driven him insane. Like, because, wow. I mean, wow. Like, nobody believes that, Nick. Nobody believes it. It doesn't sound sincere. It sounds like you're a child with a grudge. And that's why, like, all of this talk about, you know, like, accepting, you know, the MTGs and the Nick Fuenteses and the Tucker Carlsons and, no, like, let them, like, I am here for all of this, right? But accept, that's going a little too far. I like, again, need I remind you, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene started her career chasing around school shooting victims, calling them crisis actors. That's how she started out. Except Jewish space lasers? Except? No, not except. The same with Tucker Carlson. Like, this dude is making both of them are making clear runs for the presidency. Nick Fuentes thought he was going to be the new Charlie Kirk, you know, the new TPUSA. It's ridiculous because they're all narcissists. They all think that they're more than they are. And hey, you know, like, it happens to all of us. You know, you start to get a little bit of a following. You start to get a little bit of a fan base. You get people telling you that everything you say is amazing. Fuck, they make little emojis of you on Discord of all your funny little faces and, oh, you're so great, Nakasuchi, and everything you say is so great, but we need to do it this way, Nakasuchi. We need to do it that way, and we need to do it this way and that way, and if you don't do it this way and that way, you're this or you're that, and it's like, man, it just, gosh, it gets so tiring. It gets so tiring. And it really just makes you think that your shit doesn't stink. It makes you think that everything you say is right, everything you do is right. And fuck, dude, I was like, nothing But I was starting to talk to all these people, and doors were being opened, and fuck, all I got to do is keep the drinking somewhat off the stream, right? Shit goes to your head. That shit goes to your head. What's up, Maynard Saves? Oh, y'all still watching? Yeah, I'm just chilling out today, man. Work has really sucked. We'll see how this background plays. It seems like it's okay, but like until I get a real feed, we'll see the drastic movement. Because the last one I had didn't have it; just had the kind of slow raindrops. The drastic movement might be a bit too much for some, so we'll see how that plays for a while. I don't want to be stuck on the same thing. I still got the old one I can use as well. But yeah, man, this is it's just strange to see this heel turn, and I think, you know, you can argue that this heel turn is for the best. You know, like, we don't need Nick Fuentes out there with his Groyper army promoting anti-Semitism. So if Nick Fuentes wants to be a anti-Semitism warrior, I said anti-Semitist, an anti-Semitism warrior. That's a good thing for society, but like, I mean, maybe if he does this for like 10 years, then all right, he's sincere, and, you know, we can probably let our guard down. But even then, like, the moment you let your guard down, he's going to stab you in the back with it, right? So I just don't think anybody's buying it. And I think that he lost a big chunk of his people when he started with this shit, when he started telling them to vote for Democrats. I think a lot of them are going to vote for Democrats, but they don't need their edgelord telling them to do so, right? They don't need the guy that's told them for 8 years now that Democrats are out to kill them to go vote for the people out to kill them. It just doesn't make sense coming from Nick Fuentes. I think that they were probably able to get there on their own. And it's why, like, I fundamentally think that no matter what the Republicans do, I think a strong element of the Republican Party is going to be very much against what the Supreme Court did, and they're going to kind of vote against that, at least in this midterm. But we'll see if I prove right. I mean, some Republicans have to have principle, right? Some Republicans are going to look at what the Supreme Court did. They're going to realize if the shoe was on the other foot, they're going to realize that it's unconstitutional, and that they're creating a lot of problems. I posted on Facebook today, like, Hassan is, people are trying to say Hassan is promoting violence when you just kind of say the simple truth of it, right? Like, if you take away people's avenue to duly elect their own free representatives, if you tell them that society has no justice for you, this country has seen this many, many times before. If you tell people that society has no justice for you, shit's going to hit the fan. I put it on Facebook, like, how did I put it? I can't remember how I put it, but it's along the lines of, like, you know, when there is no justice in the system, then politics turns to revolution. When there's no representation in the system, when the system is rigged to become one party rule, well, then politics always turns to revolution. And it's like, all right, we're going to see now. We're going to see how this plays out. And I don't think it's going to play out how they think it's going to. I just don't. They've already lost Nate. They've already lost Nick. They've lost so much. I don't think it's going to play out how they think it's going to play out. All right. I think that's about everything. We could get all the way through it, but I think he spells it out. I think we are witnessing the end of Nick Fuentes, at least as an advocate for the far right. I don't think he rebounds from this. All right. So I had a few things. I was going to empty my cache. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to actually make those videos. I had it up. I'm not sure what I did with it. So again, I do have it. The other channel is up and go. This channel is now technically Knock TV Live. I still got to redo the banner. I can do that. I just got frustrated today making a Knock TV Live transparent background graphic, so didn't get all the way done. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do it. I just had to settle down. But yeah, I do have the other channel now. So this is Knock TV Live. I am putting out videos. Already starting to see, where are you at? Already starting to see a little bit, So at first I was getting like 12 views, about 12. Starting to pick up a little more. And that's kind of how it happened the last time. I'm stoked to see, like, and right now, like, my videos need some work, right? So I'm still figuring out this editing program, but that's not, like, I need some work. So there were always problems with my videos that I knew about, that I knew I needed to get rid of, and I just never did. And I now need to start doing that. So I got 2 more videos where it's going to have some of these problems, but I'm going to really start trying to work some of these problems out. One of the main problems is I'm way too long-winded, especially at the beginning. I really need to shorten down the beginnings of my videos. I also need to shorten my videos. I need to try to get my videos down to about 10 minutes. Right now, I'm riding that line of 20, and that's not going to get a lot of play, especially from a small channel. Here soon, I'm going to start working the shorts. Shorts are designed to bring people to your channel. So I'm going to try to start working those. Really try to just play around with this channel, try to grow it. I lost a couple subscribers last night. That's okay. That's going to happen. Part 2s hardly ever get watched like part 1s. I do have like 2 what I think is really good videos coming out. Now, the second one, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out. I'm not sure when I'm going to release it. I might release it today. The second one might get released before the first one. I think it's great. Now, I think I'm too long-winded at the beginning. I really should have, like, just scrapped it. But I already scrapped one video yesterday because I fucked it up. And I just didn't want to redo the whole video to fix the beginning. It is too long-winded at the beginning, but it's about the Barron Trump time-traveling conspiracy. And it's, I think, a great fucking video. I'm not sure when I'm going to put it out. Thought about, like, putting it out on this channel, but that's not what I'm trying to do on this channel. This channel is going to be the live experience of that channel. I got ideas for this channel. I just got to figure out how I'm going to implement some of those ideas. I want to do skits with different characters. I want to bring Earl back. I think Earl's probably going to be the first major character, but I'm not sure how those skits are going to play out. If I'm going to try to do like in life, out in the world type productions, maybe recruit people I know to help with those endeavors, or if I just do skits of kind of like I did the last time, of the alternate personality type deal where Earl is sitting in this in the chair. I didn't really like that last time. I didn't think it really played well. But I don't know. I've got ideas, different things I want to do. Eventually, once I get enough videos up, I'll start making little Knock TV playlists. I'm just going to play with this channel, see what I can do, try to do it better than I did the last time. Really cut down on the swearing. It's really kind of breaks through with the whole Donald Barron Trump as a time traveler. But like, I'm just going to say I'm like 50-50. Like, I think the Trumps could be fucking with the timeline, and that's why everything's fucked up. And it's possible. You can't say it's not once you have all the evidence. It's possible. I think they done fucked everything up. God, I should premiere it here. No, like, nobody's watching. It wouldn't really take away from any views that I would get on it, right? Like, it really wouldn't. It wouldn't take away from any views that I'm getting on it. I can sit here and watch my new video. I'm excited about it. Like, it's such a fun little conspiracy. Such a fun little conspiracy. And it makes so much sense. It explains everything. It explains why Sinbad was in that genie movie. I've been saying for a while, like somewhere along the line, timeline got all fucked up. Like this reality entered another reality, and shit's all fucked up. And it seems like it's been like that for about 20 years now. But yeah, so chill stream. Sub to Knock TV. I'm gonna be putting out videos over there. There's a lot of stuff that I can do with this programming. So if you're interested in starting doing YouTube, you know, you have this like artistic calling to like maybe make videos, but you're a poor person like me, right? And you just don't know how you're gonna do that. This program right here is called I don't have my glasses on. CapCut. You can Google it. You can get it on your phone. There's a free version that you can just basically do fucking everything you want to fucking do. You just gotta X out of, because they're gonna ask you to buy the shit. Eventually, I might buy the shit, but I don't know if I'm gonna spend money on an editing studio, then I'm gonna. But yeah, like this is like perfectly free. It's pretty easy to fucking figure it out. So let's pull this up. Where's it gonna go? It's gonna go over here. This is my new video, I believe. Let's go down here. What do I got down here? Let's get my big face out of the way. All right, so this is my new video. I guess we can watch it. We'll watch the premiere this way. But like it's really, so this is like basic. So once I figure how to add all the elements that I actually know how to use, this will actually be a lot. I'll have a lot more going on here, and I'll get to see the extent of what I can actually do. But right now, at the very beginning, I'm just keeping it extremely basic. I really hate the white walls. Like, eventually, I'm gonna do something with my background, and also I'm probably gonna be like moving rooms in a month to a kind of smaller room downstairs. So I'm not sure yet, you know, what I'm going to be working with, but I'm probably going to get some kind of like blanket flag pattern design behind me, because the white walls is really driving me crazy. Although the white walls will work it once I do start doing like pop-up text screens, that kind of thing, adding noise effects, graphic effects, stuff like that. Then, you know, the white walls can definitely help. I am considering turning the walls, painting them green, or at least getting like, you know, green fabric on the walls, and then I can do like, with the right lighting, you can then do green screen. Lighting is the important factor there. So yeah, like lots of different stuff that I'm planning on doing to make it a better quality. But, and also like I'm never really impressed with green screen quality unless you have like just the best equipment, pulling it all together seamlessly. You can tell it's, you know, kind of shoddy production. But, you know, I do kind of like the feeling of shoddy production to a point, because it gives a genuineness to it, right? Like, that's one of the things, like one of the compliments that I always got before I started live streaming and I was just making videos was, hey man, you're really good at this. You shouldn't be a small channel. And I really like just how simple everything is, right? So I do try to keep everything simple. But it's just really simple. It's fucking editing shit. It's made really fucking super fucking easy. You just like fucking press a button, man, and press that button. You got your shit clicked, and you know the talent comes in the cuts. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, we can watch my new video like this, and I'll just shut up and you guys tell me what you think. What's up, Marty? I really hope that y'all are ready to go on a really wild ride. A ride that is going to sound crazy at first, but very well might explain everything. Shout out to GeoSam. GeoSam does all the intros and stuff like for free. Send me 2 new ones that are banging. What is going on, you beautiful people? Welcome back to Knock TV. I'm your boy Knock, and today we are going to be looking at one of the more crazy conspiracy theories circling the internet right now. And we're going to be guided through this conspiracy theory by no other than Brett Cooper. This is the first time I'm ever covering Brett Cooper on my channel.
I am so excited.
Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not going to be really going at Brett Cooper because I think she might possibly think this is possible anyway. And I'm going to tell you, after listening to this theory, after listening to Brett Cooper roll out this theory, I'm like 50-50. I'm like, this could explain everything. And the theory is, and really it's two theories, but the theory is, and you might have heard this, that Barron Trump is a time traveler. And not just Barron Trump, mind you, the whole Trump family are time travelers. I know, immediately you're like, okay, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, let's not go all 12 monkeys up in this shit, but let's hear the theory out. And as I said, it might not be time travel because this is actually two conspiracy theories. One is time travel, that the Trumps got some, I don't know, crazy technology from Nikola Tesla, or that the author of these books we'll be talking about is a prophet.
Guys, is Barron Trump a time traveler? Also, is Trump possibly visiting us as a past president from the 1800s? Those are questions that are circling online right now. Now, the Trump family obviously has been quick to deny all of these rumors of the president's son being a time traveler. I mean, like, nobody in their right mind is actually gonna be like, yes, Donald Trump's son is a time traveler, let's confirm this. But that right there is the craziest conspiracy that is currently taking the internet by storm.
All right, so that's Brett Cooper. If you don't know Brett Cooper, she used to work for the Daily Wire, I believe. I could be wrong about it. She used to work for something. I believe it was the Daily Wire. Now she has her own show, and she kind of, you know, took after Destiny. Like, she talks really, really fast, you know, like her old boss, Ben Shapiro. But I think Ben Shapiro probably bit it from Destiny, or Destiny bit it from Ben Shapiro. And it's this, like, tactic to try to get in as much information as you can. And the way that Brett does it is particularly kind of annoying for an editor. You know, like, this will be my only real, like, go at Brett Cooper in this video. But the way she goes about it is, like, she'll take her breath breaks like halfway or 75% through the sentence. So she'll end a sentence and then immediately go right into the next sentence, giving me, the editor of this video, a really hard time with trying to chop up this shit.
Anyway, so while this story, this conspiracy theory about Barron Trump being a time traveler is going viral right now, this theory has actually been making the rounds since Trump's first term. So it originally blew up on 4chan, as all good theories do, and a lot of those communities truly believe that Barron was the future of this country and that these books that we're going to talk about are prophecies.
Okay, so I mean, like, 4chan, knock again. All right, so I'm going to critique myself. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. I'm not hearing myself. All right. I'm good. I should be good. All right, so I'm gonna critique myself. So, like, this intro, right? And I highly suggest, like, when I do drop this video, man, this shit is banger. Click on that Brett Cooper. Like, Brett Cooper is a person I'm gonna be kind of going at because I find her to be, I don't know, especially propagandizing. It's kind of gross. People like her and Asmongold, I'm gonna try to have some fun with. But all right, back to my critique of myself. Yeah, so when I drop this video, like, fucking go watch it and share it, because this shit is fucking great, man. Especially at the end. It explains everything. This is a video you really like. I'm too long-winded, and that's my critique of myself. I'm way too long-winded here at the beginning. Right, and I should have fixed it. I should have fucking fixed it, because I could have just launched immediately into this, like, even flow of a 10-minute video that would have led me to the end here without me saying all of the shit that I'm about to say. You can see another. Where's there's another, like, really long one, but here's, like, a really long one. And then, like, right here, I think I can be shorter, and then definitely right here I could be shorter. So it's like I've got to, like, really shorten these things down, because, you know, when it comes to YouTube, people don't have attention spans. You know, I tend to be super hyper focused, but most people are the opposite of that. Most people are super ADD, and they just don't have the attention span. So I really, if you want videos to be successful on YouTube, you want to shorten them down, and then you do kind of want a better look here. Like I got this fucking arm, like just everywhere. I actually threw away the stand that I had for this Yeti, and I'm really wishing I would have kept that stand because I would probably like that a lot more. I would just kind of have to download some of the old audio programs that I used to have because, like, the only good thing about having this microphone is I can pretty much put the microphone exactly where I want it. But another problem that I've really got to work with on myself, to be more professional with this, is I lean into the microphone. So no matter how, like, I'll try to get it away from me so I can just speak louder, like I naturally kind of want to, but then I just lean into it, right? So I got to find that perfect balance. But like this arm needs to be the fuck out of there. The background needs to be the fuck out of there unless I'm doing pop-ups, right? So if I'm doing a more comedic type video, and I need to limit, so that was another problem from before, is I would just pop up all the fucking time on every fucking video. I became really OCD with pop-ups, and nobody was friendly enough to tell me, dude, just chill a bit with it. But only do it with more comedic value, and don't do it often. The same, like, there's another video that I made to where I'm using like movie clips to just kind of like take away from kind of the seriousness of what I'm trying to talk about, and I'm trying to talk about it in a very ironic, dark, humorous type of way. And I would use these movie clips to kind of take away from that. I do it a little too much. I don't want to do it a little too much. Like, these are little things about videos and about YouTube that I need to be better on. And I'm going to try to, like, consciously try to improve myself with them. Instead, I am really, really liberal. I'm a socialist. Not a big fan of 4chan. Never even really think I've been on 4chan. Like, a person like myself should be on 4chan seeking content, but I've never even been on it. But what she's saying there isn't wrong. Like, that's something that I've always noticed myself, right? Like, like Barron is the one that the right wing has put up on a pedestal. People talk about like the Trump dynasty, who's going to come next, who's going to run for president next. Will it be Don Jr.? Will it be Ivanka? I don't think it's going to be either of those. I think both of those people are pretty disliked in this country at this point. Like, Ivanka could have been one of those, corporate Democrats. She was riding that. Yeah, I'm like sitting here watching it like I could have done this so much better, and it's not too late. And that's why I like to be ahead, right? Like, that's why I like to get my videos ahead, because I had trouble. Like, I think this video can be a banger, right? And a banger on the channel now is not going to be like some viral video. Like, this could be a video that brings me an extra 10 to 50, maybe I'm just not hearing myself. Maybe a potential 100 viewers, 100 eyes. This is a potential 10 subs, maybe. If I do it right? Like, if I do it right, and I am way too long-winded. I'm taking too long from the story, right, that I'm trying to tell with the video. And and I know this as a writer. I've got to really apply it more to my YouTube. Like, That's the death of a story, is if you're being too long-winded from the actual storytelling. Like, you're killing the story. So you don't want to do that. That's like one of the first things you don't want to fucking do. So I've really got to take that out. And I can still do that. I can just delete that video. I can start from scratch. But we'll watch the long-winded version here. What's up, John? Happy Mother's Day, man. Line that Trump's always did, but she chose to go with Dad, and now she is, the wife of Jared Kushner, which she's been that for a while. But you know what I'm saying? Like, she is not going to be liked very much. But there is this segment. They look at Barron as this like quiet, reserved alpha, like he's going to be the Trump of Trumps, right? And it's really like kind of laughable, but it would feed the fuel of conspiracy. Now, again, I'm like 50-50 on this, but I'm actually leaning towards that this is probably true. You know, not the prophecy thing, although maybe I just don't believe in prophecy. But the time traveling thing, definitely. And we'll get there. And the reason that, and that's the other thing, like I could really break this down, right? Because we're about to get to the good stuff. And that's the other thing, like that's like a death knell on a video. I'm 5 minutes, 37 seconds in. And all of this stuff that I'm looking at right now is just set up that a lot of it I don't even really need, right? And I could definitely use that one liner I have a little bit more. But like this next clip, I didn't mean to do that. This next clip is important. It could be its own video, a follow-up video, the next clip and the next one after that. And then it gets into the actual conspiracy. And by the time it's actually getting into the actual conspiracy, I'm halfway through the video. That was like a big criticisms of my videos before. And it's something that I really need to take to heart. Again, Americans just don't have the attention span, right? So, like, this is supposed to be a more intentionally, like, dark humor type funny, but serious as fuck at the same time. The story's the actual video. I don't need half the video getting to the actual story. This shit is completely not going to be the finished product at all. Because I'm going to completely redo everything. But we're about to get to the story. And I start with my evidence first, because I'm giving, like, this is going to be my best evidence for the truth of this conspiracy theory, because I'm presenting it as I'm 50-50, but I'm leaning like towards believing it, and it's the truth. I think that this probably shit is fucked up. This fucked up shit is probably happening. It explains everything. I definitely want my truth to be my follow-up video, right? I definitely want that. And the proof is you just can't believe anything a fucking Trump says unless her name is Mary. That's the proof. Time traveling thing, definitely. And we'll get there. And the reason that I think that is probably true, and we're going to get there very quickly, if not the next clip, then probably the next one. But the reason that I think it's probably true is because the Trumps say it isn't. And I don't believe anything any Trump has ever said unless her name is Mary. Because Mary Trump, at least publicly, seems to be the only sane one of the bunch.
But now, fast forward almost a decade, thanks to TikTok deep dives and Reddit threads and viral posts on X, these theories are becoming mainstream enough that actually Lara Trump and Kai Trump are even talking about it. Just watch.
Is Barron Trump a time traveler?
No, he's not.
You sure?
I'm sure, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know, I've seen some stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's not, don't worry.
There was a book written about the adventures of Barron Trump.
I'm not trying to ruin anybody or rain on any parades here. Barron Trump is not a time traveler.
There you have it. The number one reason to believe that Barron Trump is a time traveler. Because if the Trumps say something, the opposite is true.
Name me one time traveler. Name me anybody who actually can say that that's a real thing. It doesn't exist.
Name me one time traveler. It does not exist. All right, we've heard that from the Trump family. Let's put away the conspiracy. It does not exist. The Trump family told us he's not a time traveler, so obviously let's just believe them. It's debunked once and for all.
But I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. I mean, name a time traveler. Though if you really think about it, like if a time traveler is any good at the job they do, no one would ever know they were time traveling. And this really does like explain so much, you know, like the Trump's been fucking with the sacred timeline, right? And now, you know, my memories of Sinbad being in a movie about a genie, you know, I can understand why I have these memories, but this movie doesn't exist. I can understand this Mandela effect. The Trump's been fucking with the sacred timeline, right? And now we're all just variants. And, you know, we have to figure out how to fix this. I mean, it just explains so very much. I mean, just... So you will be having the first look at the sacred timeline theory that I am presenting in this video, because I think like this is what's happening, man. We're watching the really awful Marvel Phase 4 ship just play out in reality. How does Donald Trump become president in the first place? How do we find ourselves at the end of democracy And we're going to get there.
But moving on from that, I just wanted to lay that groundwork and give the context that this is becoming pretty mainstream. It's getting a lot of attention these days. So in order to understand this now viral story, we need to take it all the way back to the late 1800s, because this is where this conspiracy theory originates. So Ingersoll Lockwood, who is an American lawyer, diplomat, and author, wrote a series of children's novellas, which starred a protagonist named Baron Trump. So you can see the covers of the books here. There are two of them. The first one was called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and then the second was called The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump.
I mean, that is pretty fucked up, right? Like, I don't have any books written in the 1800s talking about the travels of Ronnie Tate, you know, go by the 1777 memoirs of Nakasuchi. But, coincidence, it exists, I guess. I mean, I think I've argued against coincidence in the past. Not sure. Can't remember all the things I've argued against. I probably argued against it and for it, honestly, if I'm being honest with you. But coincidence is a thing that we think exists anyway. And if it is a thing that does exist, then this could just be coincidence.
But we can't stop there. Because in these novellas, Little Baron Trump was a wealthy young boy who lived in some place called Castle Trump and went on time-traveling adventures with his dog. And you might think, okay, that's funny. He's living in like the equivalent of Trump Tower. But we can dial in even more. Because back in the 80s, Trump was actually in the casino business. And for a time, one of his New Jersey casinos was named Trump Castle. And you can see an old commercial right here. They did all of these like royalty-themed commercials. And then you can see Trump's castle.
I mean, that's like way more specific than revelations in the Bible, and millions upon millions upon millions of people actually think that shit's gonna happen. I mean, I would be more inclined to believe that this story is actually talking about the real Donald Trumps we know here in the modern day, because that is very, very fucking weird, right? Like, that's literally more evidence of anything in the Bible.
And again, you might think, okay, whatever, that's silly, that's fun. But again, the comparisons between Baron Trump today and these novels from the 1800s, they don't just stop there, because Little Baron, in these books, he is guided by a mentor. And that mentor's name...
I'm thinking, of doing a satire series on the new on Knock TV on the video channel of believing conspiracy theories. I don't know if I mean, God, this is just so out there, but like it would explain everything. I'm not gonna fucking lie. It looks like I missed something maybe. Yeah, I missed music on a part. Okay. All this is going to be scrapped anyway. I forgot what I was going to fucking say. All right, I do that.
From the 1800s, they don't just stop there, because Little Baron, in these books, he is guided by a mentor. And that mentor's name is Don.
Don. I mean, yeah, Don. This shit is fucking crazy. But what I was going to say is, like, I want to do a satire series where I am believing all the conspiracy theories. And the reason that I'm always going to... the reason I have to believe the conspiracy theories, the basis of it is always going to be because I believe the Bible. It's still in production in my mind, though. Nostradamus didn't even get that close with his history, right? Don. I mean, it would be more accurate, it would be more convincing if that character was named Orange Don, but Don is like, whoa.
And also in the book, the Trump family, the family of Baron Trump, is of German descent, much like our modern day Trumps are now. And yet, guys, it still gets even stranger. Because Ingersoll Lockwood did not just write The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump, he also wrote another novella. This one he wrote in 1896, and this one was called The Last President. It also went by 1900s, so it had two different titles, but most commonly it is known as The Last President. And it follows a unlikely populist leader, an unexpected outsider candidate who happens to win the presidency in the United States of America, ushering in, unfortunately, the downfall of the USA.
And that really goes to the prophecy theory, like the author is some kind of prophecy. But I put forward that, no, I'm not going to go with the prophecy theory. I'm just not. Like, that is, strange, but it makes more sense that the Trumps are actually time travelers. And this is just a Trump writing this book under a pen name. A Trump that can actually write So I'm going to guess it's like Mary Trump, right? And the Mary Trump that we see on social media, the Mary Trump that I love, that I watch almost every freaking day because she's like the only Trump I can stomach. And if you see any of these other Trumps, you really need a sane Trump. But maybe that is just like this persona, this, and she's just part of it, right? And now I'm doing this, and this, that, and now I sound like a conspiracy theorist myself. But I'm pretty sure this is true. Like, it's got to be true because it explains so much. The author is probably a Trump, probably Mary Trump, and, you know, I'm just totally convinced of this now. Like the last fucking president, yo, like, seriously, come on, look around.
But listen to this. This author writes, the second book, The Last President, is where things get even stranger in regards to this conspiracy theory. It describes a shocking and contentious election that leaves New York City, Trump's hometown, in chaos. Protesters storm Fifth Avenue, where Trump Tower stands today, led by anarchists and socialists outraged by the election of a populist president. Adding to the intrigue, the fictional president appoints a man named Pence to his cabinet. I mean, come on. It's just like, this is so much fun. It's so crazy, but it is so much fun because we still are not finished.
Now, like, I granted that coincidence exists. I granted that. And I was honest about granting that. Like, I've probably argued for and against, right? But we're granting that coincidence exists. But come on. Come on. Pence. I mean, I'm sold. I think I'm sold. I'm fucking sold.
We have to tie all of this together. So bouncing back to Little Baron and his adventures, you should know that Little Baron Trump in the book, his best friend is named Elon. So now we have Elon Musk accidentally in the mix.
I wish I had some kind of production and that would have been like an actual like nuclear explosion in my head, but I'm like a poor guy. Elon! We have Elon Musk now? Like, are you kidding me, Elon? We got Elon, we got Pence, we got Baron Trump, we got the last president. Like, this is not a theory. This is reality. And Sinbad was in a genie movie.
Elon obviously makes us think of Tesla, and what do you know? Iconic inventor and engineer Nikola Tesla is also part of this theory. So this is what TikTok has to say. Just watch.
Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, when Nikola Tesla died, they sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist, engineer, smart guy. So they're like, hey, go in to Nikola Tesla's, room and decipher all his works and whatnot. Because, Nikola Tesla discovered free energy and a multitude of things, right?
Now, I know what you're saying. Like, there's just no way that a Trump could be that smart that the government would call on him and that he would be some kind of FBI agent. And I get you, but again, I would just say go watch Mary Trump. Not all Trumps come the same. And it kind of turns out that this is true.
Here's the thing, they aren't necessarily saying anything that's untrue because Trump's FBI uncle did, after his death, go through Tesla's research. Listen to this. On January 9th, 1943, 2 days after Nikola Tesla died destitute in a New York City hotel, the FBI called MIT professor and esteemed electrical engineer John G. Trump to determine if any of the belongings in the investor's estate, which included a purported weapon of mass destruction that Tesla called the death ray, would be dangerous if they fell into enemy hands.
So, like, clearly, the government thought Nikola Tesla had something, a freaking death ray. Like, I want a death ray. And the FBI did call one of Trump's relatives. I think it would be his uncle, maybe great uncle, but probably his uncle. Did call him, and he went to the hotel room. He went to Nikola Tesla's lair when he died. And he was, as far as I understand, the first on the scene. And he had free access to that shit. And here is where the possibility, like, isn't that fucking crazy? Hopefully I didn't blow y'all's eardrums out there, but like, holy shit, bro. Like, dude, literally, no conspiracies, please. No, you have to laugh at it, but like the audacity, like you can't say it's not possible. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely redoing this. I'm creating my own conspiracy theory. It's the All this is going to be changed. But it's the it's the sacred timeline conspiracy theory. Trump has been fucking with the sacred timeline. Let me ask Kit Hovind, have you ever heard of a genie movie? It would have been from the 90s, early 90s, starring the comedian Sinbad. Somebody's been fucking with the timeline, bro. No, of course you can't believe this stuff. So yeah, I'm going to have to be a little more fine-tuned with like... I should turn it. I should show you. Like I'm just. Oh man, I'm having so much fun with this shit, bro. I'm actually really glad because this started me with just me, like, you know, showing CapCut. It's this free like editing software, right? And like this is gonna be a banger video if I do it right. This is gonna be a banger video for my new channel. You remember that movie, Marty? I know you do. Somebody's fucking with the timeline. Like, this really happened. John G. Trump, Trump's uncle, was sent by the FBI to find whatever Nikola Tesla had when he died. Now, we know that Nikola Tesla, and we don't have to watch the rest of it. What's the last clip? Or there's 2 more clips. We'll watch the clip.
And there is a theory out there that Nikola Tesla was already time traveling, in a sense, that he was, receiving information.
So, like, the most popular theory about Nikola Tesla on why he was, like, so far ahead of everybody else, and like we're still trying to catch up to the motherfucker, is that he was in direct communication with an alien species that were giving him a line on their technology. That's the most common conspiracy theory surrounding Nikola Tesla. And yeah, I was saying like this. I want to do this satire series, you know, on the new channel of me believing conspiracy theories, linking it to my belief in God. And that's going to be like, I believe I'm going to probably do that through Earl. My old satirical character on this channel. So yeah, I'm going to completely redo all of this. I'm going to turn this into 2 videos. I'm really glad that I watched this because I was going to roll with it. I already got it on my new channel. What do I got over? I got rolling over there. Let's pull up my other channel. So. We're just gonna go ahead and delete that because I'm 2 videos ahead over here. So this one's gonna be a good one, but you know it's good to me. It might trigger some Christians if Christians actually see it. At this point, not many are gonna see it. But where's that at? Does Baron Trump travel through time? Delete forever. Yeah, we're gonna completely redo this. There's no death ray, no free energy. No, yeah. Oh, it's great. It's fucking awesome. So yeah, maybe I got to make sure that people know. You know, of course, the Trump. It would explain everything, but of course the Trumps aren't traveling through time. I don't think that Nikola Tesla had a death ray. Is that even something he said? Let's find out. Let's bring a tab over here. Oops, and I deleted everything somehow. So I need to get real quick. I need to pull back up my studio. So let me do that just real quick. There it is. All right. Did Tesla say he had a death ray? Because I don't know. Nikola Tesla did claim to have invented a superweapon, but he famously disliked the name death ray. While the press popularized the term, Tesla officially called his invention Teleforce or a death beam. I don't know. I never knew that the picture. Let's go back there. That this picture was Nikola Tesla. Oh, you fucker. I got it over there. All right, let's go back here. Images of Tesla. I didn't know this picture was Nikola Tesla. It gives me pictures of a fucking car. God damn it. Like, that's our society in a nutshell, right? That's our society in a nutshell. Where's it at? This picture here. I didn't know that was Tesla. Because that's like that's a meme that I've seen like a million times. Never knew that was Tesla. That's our society, though. You type in Tesla, you're going to get the car. All right, where am I at over here? I now have deleted the actual other stream that I had to play today. What do I got up? I don't need. What is that? Oh, nope, I didn't delete it. All right, cool. So this will be fun. So yeah, I'm gonna redo that. I think that's gonna be a banger video. I think that's gonna be a banger video. You don't think? I'm taking it that.
Your eyes buying over.
I'm taking it that Kent Hovind doesn't believe. Kent Hovind CPA doesn't believe Baron Trump is a time traveler. Oh shit. The things people fucking believe, man. All right. It would explain so much. It would. All right, so this is what's it called? 34 minutes straight of Steven Crowder getting wrecked. And I watched a good, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 minutes of this, and yeah, this kid right here is legit.
But I believe that socialism, the ism that we both agreed upon, the collective means, seizing of distribution, production, is immoral.
I mean, the argument is absurd because if you say that it's immoral, then you also have to say that government funding of police is immoral, government funding of the military is immoral. Anything the government does is immoral, and that's ridiculous because you have to have some state that's going to socialize certain things. And so the question is not, do we have socialization? It's how much.
Sure. I would disagree with that. Now, would you know where I disagree with that? Guess what I'm going to say.
I assume you're going to try to argue that government funding of the military and police is not socialism.
Why would I say that?
Well, because if you don't argue that, then you're going to have to give some ground.
Yeah, so if you don't, if basically if Steven Crowder doesn't argue that some things that are socialism aren't, then he's going to have no grounds to argue on. I think this kid breaks it down pretty good. It's really hard to try to talk about socialism because the connotations that people have been brainwashed into dredging up, right? Like this outrageous, Lao killed 100 million people claims, and it's always like 100 million people. Like just the negative connotations that are always drawn up when Americans hear the term. It's really hard to explain around that, especially when, socialism, especially in this country, is this very adaptive thing. It's a little bit different for, I think, probably everybody. Outside, like, people do form bubbles, and so they'll create, social structures and rules for those social structures within their bubbles. I just dropped my piece of joint. My LCD makes me smoke them till they're nothing before I start another one. But people have their like social structures within their bubbles, and then politics will start to fall in line. It happened with me back in my Discord days. It's really easy to kind of lose where you were when you find yourself somewhere new. But this kid really breaks it down, right? Like, so we already have socialism ingrained into certain elements of our society. You can argue about whether or not that's socialism if you want, but one thing that you cannot argue against is if capitalism is benefiting the mass majority any longer. You just can't argue for that anymore.
Socialism.
No, absolutely. I think you're right. If I have to concede that police force, as he's saying, police force, military, roads is socialism, the same as healthcare, education, and I'm assuming that's why you're referring to Denmark and Sweden. They're not socialist economies, but they have more of a social safety net. That's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, they're social democracies.
They're market economies with higher emphasis on a social safety net. That's how they describe it.
That's what a social democracy is.
So okay, we agree on the term. Let's go with social democracy. I just want to make sure we don't get confused like democratic socialism as though that changes anything. But we just talked about this, conceding that ground. Yeah. I don't believe that the military and the police force would be the same as socialized healthcare school.
Why not?
Sorry, because we only have one microphone. We had to do a late setup. I appreciate you working with me.
Well, I mean...
Why not? Why not was your question.
Our definition was that...
So why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make sure you don't... why not?
So definitely didn't want to give him more time to talk there. Why not? Like, why push the microphone in his face and kind of force him to come up with on the spot something... because he had already proposed a question. So, like, dude, I want to hear what he was gonna say, because it sounded like it would probably be pretty banger, right? Like, he sounded like he was gonna spit some facts right there.
Because there's a difference between a public good and a commodity. Can you explain to me the difference between public goods and a commodity?
Well, in economics, a public good is a good that is, I believe, non-excludable and non-rivalrous. So
exactly. Yeah. So that would include things like the police, the military. You'd be hard-pressed to even find hardcore libertarians to say that we don't need those. Okay. So there's a big difference. There's a fundamental difference between that and...
Well, I mean, the libertarian position isn't that we don't need police force, is that police forces should be privatized. And that's like the libertarian position, privatized police forces. So, I mean, that would be a very different structure from what we have today. Privatized police forces, I mean, it would pretty much be just like rich people with police.
Something like healthcare or school. Or it goes to free internet, as Sven Computer talked about in Germany now. High-speed internet is a right. The second you declare any commodity to be a right, or to be a fundamental role of government, that means the government can now remove that right depending on who's in power, and that's the problem. That's why I think it's fundamentally immoral for someone to take something they haven't earned, regardless of who's in power. I think it's immoral for Donald Trump's administration to take it from you, just as you probably think it's immoral for Barack Obama's administration to take it from me. So the difference there would be, first, public goods versus...
Oh, shit. Kent Hovind, you're trying to convince me more of the conspiracy. Kent Hovind CPA says, "Knock, there's a Tales from the Dark Side episode that deals with an evil billionaire named Trump. More evidence that they've been fucking with the sacred timeline, bro."
Commodity. And I think that's an important distinction for everyone here to make, because it's a common argument we hear from the left. If you support any role of government at all, that means that this is socialism. But it's not, according to the definition
I'm
that we
going to have to
upon.
remember that so I can
Something
use
else,
it.
I think it also matters the constitutional parameters of government, right? What
Yeah,
the
the Pinkerton
Constitution
Agency all over
defines
again.
what our government is and what fundamental human rights are.
Well, I want to get back to your earlier point where you said that because the military is a public good, that therefore it's not socialism. In your definition, you never made any distinction between different types of goods. You just said a socialist economy is one that takes wealth from some people and gives it to others, and that's what financing a public good is.
Well, no, it's not. You talked about redistributing, the common means of production or distribution. So if we want to frame that in, I certainly wouldn't say that that's the police. Oh, someone's yelling. Hopefully we're good. So I would not agree with you that the military or police would be socialist. But to move on here, again, let's go to the Danes, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. You pointed to them as successful examples of socialism, because that would be different from your definition of socialism. So now I moved on from the idea that taking something you haven't earned to give to someone else is morally reprehensible, regardless of the reason, because socialism can only be enacted through the threat of violence. That's really what taxes are. At the end of the day, we all agree on that.
Violence is part of life.
Okay, well, I don't believe there should be a part of life for someone with guns to come in if I don't pay for Timmy's health care. I just disagree with that.
If you don't pay taxes, you're going to have other forms of violence that arise spontaneously. This sort of autistic libertarian idea of, oh, you can have a non-aggression.
Stop it. He's been watching Matt Damon videos.
All right, so that you just scored a point with your argument when every MAGA butthole clenches in the crowd at the same time. Like, all right, like this. Look at it. Look at his smirk. Look at his smirk. He knows he just scored a point because they just told him he scored a point, and he ain't wrong.
This idea of a non-aggression principle is just fantasy. Okay, you have to have.
Describe to me. You just said autistic, and this was very civil until you brought that up. Define.
Well, he's so proud of it.
Well, it tends to be characterized by an overemphasis on logic and philosophy as opposed to reality. You know, it's very easy to argue from syllogisms and axioms and all that.
So hold on a second. I want to make sure before you move, because what you do.
Like, Kid was fucking owning him. He was trying to be all like, please explain your crazy ass stance, and he's just like spitting facts, blowing smoke.
You speak in these paragraphs. We need to determine what these definitions are.
You saw Steven took that microphone away really quick.
That autism, if I'm not mistaken, and I would love for you to bring this up, is rooted more in philosophy and theology than facts, than logic or reason?
Logic, syllogisms, that sort of thing.
That's what you believe is the definition of autism?
Well, because it leads you down these intellectual...
No, do you believe that's...
No, it's the definition of the adjective he used to describe conservative thinking. This autistic worldview. It's probably not necessarily politically correct, which is, you know, again, just another example of the hypocrisy of MAGA, you know. Free speech for me, not for thee.
Definition of autism.
No,
you
I'm
don't.
using it in an informal way.
Okay, so you're using it in an insulting way.
You could say that.
Okay.
A little bit of banter.
A little bit of, yeah. Well, we don't call that friendly banter generally.
Okay.
We call that being a dick. So I want to go back to hopefully keeping it civil.
See, and that's called getting a point for MAGA. The MAGA mind right there is ad hominem. That's a point in a debate for MAGA.
Well, you know, I wouldn't call you retarded. You know, I wouldn't say that you had a fight with the Clippers and the Clippers won. I wouldn't do this. Let's keep this very civil.
Well, and again, it wasn't. That's not the same. That's a false equivalency. So, like, he spelled it out, like what he was saying there. Like, your logic just doesn't make sense. Like, you can start from a point of axiom all that you want. It just doesn't line up. You know, it just doesn't line up with reality. That whole MAGA logic, like, he had spelled out like what he meant by the definition of that, and that's why, like, Steven Crowder has no desire to follow up with that. Like, he just has to ridicule it.
So let's go back to Sweden, Denmark, Norway.
Because he knows that his logic
examples.
is flawed because he's an idiot.
You pointed to them as successful
He knows
examples
he's
of
stupid.
socialism. It was interesting to me that you said, I know you'd want to point to the USSR or Venezuela or these places, but really we should look to these Scandinavian countries.
Sure.
Why?
Because they provide a good quality of life for their citizens. You don't have this gigantic gap between the working class and the upper class. There is a commitment of the state to the well-being of their citizens, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Okay. So first off, I agree with you that first off, the overall well-being of citizens is a tremendous thing. I think we would all want. I think everyone here wants a better society, wants a better America. I don't think that you want a worse America.
Disagree with that.
I don't think you don't believe I want a worse America, despite
Definitely.
the fact that you implied I might be autistic. So maybe I don't know what's best for America. You know, autistic and such. Keep your hate speech off this campus. But your reasoning there,
it's a smaller
and correct me if I'm wrong, you said there isn't the same kind of gap, the inequality gap. That was your, I want to get, because you speak in, like I said, longer paragraphs. Seems the fundamental premise there was Denmark, Norway, Sweden, they're examples because they're successful. They have a high...
Did I just crash everything? I think I might have just crashed everything.
Higher quality of living, and the main purpose the main justification used was there's less of an inequality gap. Am I correct? I don't want to misrepresent you.
Yes.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know if I'm still, I don't know, my computer, I kind of thought like I probably should have restarted my computer today. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so it seems like the stream is fine, maybe. Everything just crashed on me. Everything just stopped. Doesn't look like the stream stopped though. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. I probably should have restarted my computer, and I probably had just too much going on. But everything stopped for a second. I thought I lost everything. Yeah, I probably should get rid of that. That's causing my computer to run. Alright. See if I can actually pull it back up. Alright, yeah, that was weird. I don't think I'm going to do anything for the rest of the day. So I'm probably just going to hang out. I don't know if I want to... Alright, stop. Alright, everything seems to be working good now. I don't seem to be getting like any flags on my OBS. So I just don't know what happened there. Hey, what's up, Cider and Port? So yeah, I think I'm gonna be just chilling. I got a couple videos I can make. Well, 3 videos now because I'm gonna remake that one. But I might like just start up like a game of Civ. I need to go check on my daughter. And if I decide to do that, I'll probably try to stream. Hopefully my computer will let me stream it, and I'll just hang out for the day. Because it's been a really slow weekend, and I'm just done with it for the weekend, I think. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just start up a game and play a game of Civ. Maybe I'll play a long game of Civ 6. And anybody that wants to hang out with me today can. How much dollars to get StreamYard going? Actually, I was looking at that. I'm looking at Restream. It's not so much the money. So I was trying to actually get the free version of StreamYard. And it wants me to, like, I can't remember my fucking passwords. So I'm going to try to get my old version, at least the free version up. So like if I'm doing stuff I can, and people want to pop in and have a conversation, then I can at least have something. But I am looking at like Restream, some other things. Yeah, I would like to get away with not paying anything. It's not even an issue of having the money for it, because I could pay for it. It's an issue that I don't want to. Especially, like, I really need, all of my money needs to go to my car. So I'm really just trying not to spend any kind of money right now. I don't even think I'm streaming anything, like any streaming platforms right now, except for YouTube Premium. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this stream. I don't know what just happened there. I'm gonna restart my computer, check my levels. Maybe I need to delete some shit. I really shouldn't, though. It should be fine. It could just be a glitch. It just didn't like me having that editing program up in the background, because the editing program runs in the background, and it's probably not the best idea to have that going when I'm trying to stream, kind of like a video game. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, ain't shit going on. It's Sunday, it's Mother's Day. Hopefully if your mom's around, you told her that you love her. Yeah, and I'm gonna go see my daughter, make sure that she's talked to her mother today. It's 12:30. She better be awake. I'm surprised she hasn't come up in here. So yeah, and I'll probably just start a game of Civ or something, or I might change my mind, go to work, or, there's always another stream I could do today. Like, I've got like 90 more reasons not to be a Christian to get through. But I feel like, I kind of, if I'm going to take the day off on a normally busy day, because like this morning, like really fucking sucked, then I should just like take it off, not work my brain, not edit videos, just like play some video games and talk some shit. And if y'all want to hang out in the side chat, if there ain't nothing going on, come and hang out. If you've never seen a game of Civ, it's fairly interesting. I tend to cheat. Not really, but I mean, I'm gonna give myself enough room to work with. And I'm evil. I'm very, very evil. I'm like really thinking maybe I'll run as Julius Caesar, and yeah, we'll just be straight fascists from the very start. Maybe I won't give myself like a whole continent. Maybe I'll try to be a little fairer with it, and we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I think I've talked myself into being lazy today. So, yeah, I'm going to go check on my kid. The Nick Fuentes thing is interesting. It's going to be something I'm looking at, right? Like, I've waited a long time for these groypers to break, and for their leader to go stooge. And I think we're there. So, as always, after 20 minutes of me just rambling to myself, remember that the earth is not flat, and I'll probably see you in a few minutes.